Good afternoon, everybody. It is Dan Krueger from DK Fitness, and today I'm going to talk to you about the top healthy foods that could be sabotaging your diet. Let's get into it. So, a lot of things out there today are going to be marketed as being healthy. And just so you know, healthy and beneficial to your weight loss goals isn't always going to be synonymous. So today we're going to be going down the list of things that are presented as being healthy, or we are used to growing up and hearing about as being healthy options that we should really think twice about if we are trying to lose body fat or just trying to overall keep an eye on our caloric intake and keep an eye on the quality of the foods that we're taking in. So number one on the list is going to be fruit juice. Now I know when I was growing up, every kid is always going to be sipping on a juice box or some sort of juice product. And naturally you think that, oh, it comes from fruit, you squeeze out the juice, it's filled with all the micronutrients of fruit, it should be good, right? Well, not so fast. As soon as you remove the juice from a fruit, you remove all the fiber from the equation, right? So now you've got a glass full of fruit juice, no fiber, but all the content, all the sugar content of that fruit is still there. So the fiber is what slows down the digestion of that sugar, and once you take that out of there, then that sugar is going to hit your blood nice and quick, cause a spike in insulin, and that is not what we want if we are trying to keep our body fat low or reduce body fat. An influx of sugar into the blood is most likely going to translate into that excess sugar that we don't need being stored as fat. So do yourself a favor, stick to the whole fruit instead of the juice. Just eat an apple, an orange, whatever. It's got the fiber, it'll get digested slower and it won't be an issue. And also, most juices out there, if you look at the label, are not even all real fruit juice. There will be a small percentage of actual real fruit juice, and the rest is just water and sugar and additives. So be careful of what you're getting in the juice department, and I recommend just eat whole fruit. Keep it simple. The next one is sports drinks like Gatorades and Powerades and things like that. I know a lot of people who are getting into fitness early on here, you're heading to the gym, you want to grab something that you associate with being a healthy option while you're working out. You reach for a Gatorade or a Powerade because maybe you see athletes drinking them and they're definitely marketed as that's what you should be using them for, but in reality, there's a ton of sugar in there, which can benefit athletes who are training aggressively or people who are been working out a while and they're in the gym going through a ton of calories. But for the average person, just to get hydrated, you can get your electrolytes outside of those types of drinks without the sugar. And taking in 40 to 50 grams of sugar at a workout is not necessary. The average person just hitting the gym for a workout, they're in their 45 minutes maybe, they might be burning through 20 grams of carbohydrates, 20 grams of sugar. So definitely nowhere near the quantity you're gonna see in a Powerade or a Gatorade. So just stick to water. Keep it simple. The next one that I'm gonna talk about is salad dressings. So obviously you go to restaurants and you're thinking you're gonna get something healthy, you're scrolling down the menu. Naturally a salad's something that you're gonna be drawn to. That's a healthy option, right? Well, if you look at the caloric information in most restaurants, the salads are right up there with the burgers, 1,000 plus calories, and the majority of that is going to be coming in from the dressing. The same goes for the stuff that's sitting in your fridge right now. You could be concocting a really great salad full of tons of micronutrients and fiber and veggies and things, and as soon as you dump on the ranch dressing, that's about 100 calories per 2 tablespoons, you've added an extra couple hundred calories of fat and processed refined sugars. So keep it simple and make your own dressing. That's a good way to go about it. A simple mixture of some oil, like olive oil and a red wine vinegar or an apple cider vinegar, and some herbs and spices and things like that is a great way to get some healthy fat in and give you a lot of flavor without a ton of artificial processed ingredients and just unnecessary calories. So, and at the restaurants, just get the dressing on the side. And be very conservative with your use of it. Obviously you get a little bit of the flavor, but just dump every other bite in there, get a little bit of the flavor. You'll reduce the caloric intake from restaurant salad drastically if you do that. Breakfast cereals. I think a lot of people are starting to catch on to the fact that the most of the mainstream breakfast cereals are pretty darn processed and don't offer a whole lot of value. You can tell because all these guys are coming out with high fiber versions, and they're really pumping up the fact that there might be some whole grains included in there, but for the most part, most breakfast cereals are going to be refined carbohydrates, processed grains, and added sugars and things like that. So for the breakfast cereals, I recommend keeping it simple again. Go for some oatmeal, or find something that is like an all-natural granola that is not going to have a bunch of added sugar and high fructose corn syrup and things like that. Next one is going to be trail mix, and this one kind of falls into a category with granola, where it starts out as a good, healthy idea, but then large companies who want to make a profit and sell a bunch of a product come in and they kind of ruin it by pumping it up with fake sugars and crappy ingredients so that it tastes really great, but it's cheaper to make and it's much more high calories. So trail mixes in particular is something that you associate with being out in nature, hiking, being healthy. It's got the nuts and the healthy fats in there, but a lot of them these days can also have chocolate chips, M&Ms, and things like that as well. So you would be surprised how many calories you can get in there with the trail mix. I think one little handful you're going to be doing about 100 to 150 calories if you get one of the really tasty ones, and those are not all good calories. You got some healthy fats coming from the nuts, but you've got a handful of M&Ms. Okay, so let's get real. Make your own trail mix if you really want to go that route, and keep it to mostly nuts and seeds and high fiber and healthy fat ingredients, and then some sparse dried fruits for a little bit of sweetness. Just leave the candy out. Let's not kid ourselves. When we're buying trail mix, we're getting it for the M&Ms. Okay, just let's be real. There's nothing healthy about M&Ms. You can have them as a treat here or there, but don't throw them in with a health food and pretend like you're doing something that's good for your waistline. Be careful with the trail mix. Super high calorie. Again, make it yourself. Control the ratio of the ingredients going in, and you'll be in much better shape in that department. Similar situation with the next one is granola bars. Again, a really healthy concept that kind of got ruined by the current way foods are processed. So you take a healthy idea and then you add refined sugar and processed carbohydrates, and you get something that's depleted of nutrients, high in calories and high in sugar. You can take your homemade granola or your healthy granola and you can make it into a bar with a binding agent like a peanut butter and a protein powder. But be careful of those store-bought granola bars. Those might have a nice little picture of a field and a farm, and have an advertisement or a saying. They might have a big label on it that says whole grain and high fiber and healthy, but not the best decision when you're looking for some sort of complex carbohydrate. So there's definitely better options out there. One way I like to point people is a product called RX bars. These are bars that are based off of a couple natural ingredients. You're looking at, I think, egg whites, dates, oats, some almonds, some real basic ingredients that are, full of micronutrients, and there's no real sugar added outside of the little pieces of fruit in there. So those would be a great option, or making them yourself. Last one on the list is smoothies. There's smoothie bars popping up all over the place, usually by recreational areas in every mall. And again, they look like healthy options, right? They're based on fruit, so we think that they'd be a healthy choice. Look at the calories, and they come up to almost 1,000 calories in some of these spots. So you're going to end up getting a creamy, milkshakey type of beverage, which, let's be honest, is one big giant dessert. So the way around that would be to make a smoothie yourself. Bust out the blender, get some fruits, add a protein powder, use some frozen bananas and ice, and you don't need to add a whole lot of calories to get a nice tasty beverage. And adding some protein powder, maybe a fiber source, is a great way to make sure it's nutritionally dense. Keeping it around 300 calories is totally reasonable. So there are definitely better options out there than Jamba Juice and all the places in the mall. So keep that in mind. So hopefully this helps you guys navigate the nutritional landscape. I know it's tricky out there, the way everything is marketed these days. It's hard to trust what's healthy and what's not, because just about everything in the grocery store is going to have a nice little green farm and be plastered with notes about fiber and whole grains, and everything's healthy. So hopefully this helps. If you need any additional assistance, go ahead and shoot a message over to D. Krueger Fitness, or pop over to dkruegerfit.com, and we can get you started on a customized program where we can walk you through this step by step, teach you how to eat for your needs, and get you in the shape that you want to be in. Thanks, guys.